our children first started going to school, it was volunteers who picked them up in a van, and teachers got paid if there was enough money, because it was just, well, they would eventually get paid, but there was no big salary. And it was in the basement of Regent Street School, and the children had to arrive after everyone else had arrived at 9 o'clock and had to leave at 11:30 before anyone else got out. And I'm not sure for whose protection that was. People were not accepted because if you really think about it, the only people we put away were criminals. And they were someone you were supposed to be afraid of. So here were just ordinary people being put away. So not being exposed, a lot of people not being exposed to too many people with handicaps, feared more than anything else, and thought that maybe there was something to be afraid of. So for the most part, I think that was the big selling thing with the organizations. These are people that can be integrated into our community. Some of them will get jobs, some of them will be able to work, some of them may not work independently, but they can do certain things. All of them will learn more about getting along in the community, about relationships, about recreation, about participating in the full life of the community. So that's what it was about. It was about convincing people that that was all right. Not an easy task at the beginning, but one that was accomplished. I guess I'm just proud to have been part of something that's so important and that valued people and that continues to value people.
Well, I think it's same as it is for you and I to have our ability to make our choices. And, you know, sometimes they're not always the right choice or a good choice, but that's how you learn. And I think it's absolutely a necessity. You know, as a group, in a group home, they'll often decide what the menu is going to look like for the next week or a month or whatever, and shop accordingly and so on and so forth. But they're having input into that decision-making process, and that's the important part. Closure of the facilities was the biggest milestone, and to this day when I'm talking to people, I have to emphasize that. That was a major, major step, and one that was needed.
So much to discover here, setting out on my own, all the places I can go.
So I know I don't mind talking about Bradley. We were very upset. We thought he was in good hands. And we found out after that some of the staff knew these two guys were after Bradley. And he was not to be left alone. And that was a tragic. He was killed. And it was done there by another patient. They really looked after him. I was amazed. They were so good. And that's things that he got out in the community, which we couldn't do. He needed them. They transported him. They cared for him in the daytime. The only time they had him was overnight was like when he went to Reno, Nevada. But he got to do all these things that we never could have done. So and Cameron needed that.
I would argue that many of the people we've supported, if not all of them, at one point in time in their life had choices made for them that you and I would have made for ourselves. And I think we have to absolutely support the individualization of the people we support and their right to make decisions despite some of the risks that we feel may be associated with those decisions. But I think it's just at the very basic right of an individual to make their own choices. And we should be supporting and encouraging that.
Looking at a sky so clear.
Their person-centered approach, their inclusiveness, their sense of community, they're seen as a leader in that regard, certainly. Innovative work that they have done through opening of certain homes for people with very complex needs. Their Pineview Treatment Home on Waypoint property, as well as the Beacon House, which is a dual diagnosis transitional rehabilitation program. They're an agency that would always step up, seen as an agency that would always step up and fill a gap that needed to be filled as far as provision of services and supports goes. You know what, I'm so extremely proud to have the opportunity to be CEO of an organization like this that have highly skilled, dedicated staff that value the work that they're doing, and to do this in a wonderful community. I feel truly blessed to have this opportunity.
She cares for me, and I care for her. Right? She helped me out sometimes. Being her. Hey, Mary? Yeah.
Time goes on and seasons change. It's these moments that remain. And no matter where I go, I'll always hold him close.
Oh, I'm trying
It's a
to
long,
choose that one.
long and winding road. It's a long, long and winding road. It's a long and winding road.